What's up? Excuse me. What's up? What's up? What's up? Can everybody see me and hear me? Happy Sunday evening. We are here for the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, season 17 reunion part 3. It is it. It is over. It is a wrap, honey. Season 17 is in the books. I'm going to be very candid with you guys. First of all, y'all know I'm really not a fan of these 3-part reunions because honestly, for the most part, 3-part reunions are a waste. It just usually is not enough for 3 hours. For me, maybe for y'all, but for me, I really felt like this part of the reunion was a regurgitation on almost everything we had already talked about. I feel like we just extended. The only thing that, not the only thing, but it was a few odds and ends, but we could have shoved that in the first 2 episodes. The one thing that I think they were like holding out a part 3 for, Portia shut that shit down. Like, I will get to that, but honestly, I really felt like the first part of this episode was about K. Michelle. I honestly feel like we have already discussed this in part 1 and part 2. K. Michelle let us know, look, I was in my head, I was tripping. I knew that there was shit out there. There was things being said about me. I was trying to get ahead of it. I let other people get in my head and tell me stuff that was going on. I let other people convince me that people were talking about me in these conspiracies. We did not need to have a whole nother segment just so y'all could show us the package of K. Michelle being paranoid. She acknowledged it. We've already talked about this. She said, look, I was in my head. The people was telling me what was going on. So honestly, that was really what the first part was. Let me look at my notes, but that's all it was. K. Michelle and the plot. And basically, K. Michelle is admitting there really was no plot. There was no plot. I got in my head. I allowed between the people in my head and the voices in my head, I allowed the people to get in my head and convince me that something was happening that wasn't really happening. They didn't bring no husbands out because it ain't no husbands to bring out. Ain't nobody there but Charles. We couldn't bring out Kelly's boyfriend because hell, we didn't even see him until the reunion. So they didn't even know to invite him to the reunion because his ass, they didn't. I don't know if they even knew he was gonna be there. We know Shamia's husband ain't coming to the damn reunion. Ain't no husbands to invite. Portia next year I could see Sway coming, and I think that'll be. Is that gonna be the first time? Is that gonna be the first time in Housewives? No, Martina. No, Martina was first on the Real Housewives of Miami. So I could see Sway coming next year for Portia. They just celebrated their 1-year anniversary. Shout out to them. Cynthia, I mean, her boyfriend may have come, but she's a friend of the show. Like, we know Ralph ain't coming. Phaedra ain't got nobody to come. Pinky husband, I guess he could have came. Yeah. So I mean, I honestly feel like that's why they didn't invite the husbands, because they would only had 2 up there. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot. K. Michelle's husband would have come. K. Michelle's husband would have come. Charles would have come, and Pinky. But you know what the excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. But you know what the catch is? There's no need for any of them to come because none of them were part of a storyline. See, in the past or other franchises, the husbands come because the husbands have something to add to these storylines. These husbands don't have nothing to add to not one of these storylines, not a one. And even though Charles' name came up a few little sprinkles here and there this season, he really ain't got nothing to add. Yeah, he really don't have nothing to add. But yeah, they have husbands. So yeah, they do. But and K Michelle's husband has been very supportive, and he would have probably come. Pinky's husband would have probably come. Charles was there, and we saw that Kelly's boyfriend was there. Um, I think next year we'll probably get that next year. Cause again, Sway will be there, and y'all know Andy would love to have Sway up there. So Sway will probably come next year. Um, so anyway, it neither here nor there. So that was the first segment, was all about K Michelle. And again, we talked about it, right? Then we let me see, what are my notes? Where my notes go? I just put here. Then we had somehow we got on Kelly. You know, y'all know how I feel when I hate when people put me in a position to have to defend somebody I don't even fuck with like that. But Kelly, that was so disrespectful and dismissive of you to downplay what Phaedra did for you. The fact that she said, well, because somebody brought up, the question was asked, you were talking about freaking frack, but yet you let Phaedra, like you allow Phaedra to defend you, but you was talking trash about freaking frack. And Kelly gonna say, well, first of all, I didn't ask her to defend me. She volunteered. Well, why would you accept it? If you felt some kind of way and she was freaking fracking this, that, and the other, whether she offered or you asked, why did you allow her to do it? See, I don't like that kind of shit. If somebody does something for me, I don't like I didn't even ask her and she volunteered. No, you allowed her to do it. You took her services. You filmed in her office more than one time. She went to court for you. And then for you to be like, well, I just want to be clear. She didn't do it she didn't do it for free. I paid her $10,000. Kelly, stop playing. You know good and damn well that $10,000 ain't shit when it comes to an attorney going into court for you. $10,000 ain't. Some attorneys' retainer is $10,000. And for you to say, well, most of the work had already been done, and she didn't really do that much, and they didn't really do that much, and I had paid my other attorney $200,000. That's all the more reason why $10,000 ain't shit. Because you paid your other attorney $200,000 and you didn't get shit. Now, like I said, far be it from me to defend Phaedra, but you asked Phaedra to get you two things. You told Phaedra you wanted back child support, you wanted your child support, and you wanted to be able to film with your daughters. And she got you both of those things. Now, listen, at the end of the day, again, Phaedra can be a lot of things. And I ain't even saying Phaedra's the one that went into court. I wasn't there. I don't know. But her law firm went into court and got you what you asked for $10,000 that your $200,000 lawyer didn't get. There's no reason in the world why you should have talked shit. When the question was asked, Kelly, all you had to say was, yeah, you know what? I was talking some shit. But at the end of the day, Phaedra did me a solid and I appreciate it. That's all you fucking had to say. Don't try to downplay what that woman did. We ain't gotta like Phaedra. We don't have to like Phaedra. But Phaedra's law firm went into court and represented you and got you what you said you wanted for $10,000. And that's all you had. It's okay sometimes to just be like, look, I was talking a little shit. Okay. I was talking a little shit, but me and Phaedra ended up building a relationship and she did me a solid. And I appreciate that. That's all you got to say, girl. That is it. And that is all. Nothing more needs to be said. Nothing more needs to be added. Nothing more needs to be layered on. And I just didn't like it. But moving right along. Now, Phaedra, for your part, and I know last week we went back and forth about the whole Pinky and the bankruptcy thing and her being, grateful, whatever, or like how she was like being ungrateful, whatever the words were we were using. And I hear what y'all are saying. But I also said last week that it did seem like Phaedra had an issue with Pinky. Like it was personal. It wasn't about the bankruptcy or about Pinky bragging. It was about Pinky. Because then today, Phaedra gonna make the comment about, I did this for you and I did that for you. And Pinky, who's in the restaurant business, she didn't do anything for you. Girl, don't. First of all, Pinky did. According to Kelly, her and Pinky had great conversations, and Pinky gave her some good information and probably gave her some good advice. But neither here nor there, even if she hadn't, that has nothing to do with you, Phaedra. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that Phaedra has an issue with Pinky. I get the whole her being flippant about the bankruptcy and bragging. I get that. But I also feel like Phaedra has an issue with Pinky, because why everybody on that side of the couch, you pick Pinky. You ain't say nothing to Shamia. You say, well, Shamia, you ain't saying that, like, you could have picked. Why was it Pinky? I just feel like it's personal. I don't know. And she can be personal. Like, she can have an issue with Pinky, but I think she does. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure Phaedra won't help Kelly again. She shouldn't, unless she getting paid for it. OMG, I just watched. Hold on. What did the Inform say? Hey, the Inform. Hey, boo. The Inform said, hold on. The Inform said, oh, no, that wasn't the Inform. That was somebody else. Who is it? Dang it. Oh, where is it? Oh, no. Always Priceless said, I just watched that clip. Nene was on Dwight's neck about Greg. Oh, okay. Y'all talking about the husbands and stuff. Okay. Kelly is not wrong for get Phaedra standing in the rumor with Portia. Well, if that's how she felt, she shouldn't have accepted her help. How about that? I see. I can separate things. I know sometimes y'all can't, and that's fine. But I can separate things. Somebody can be wrong on the left, but on the right but be right on the right, and that's just how I am. Like, I can separate things. So yes, Phaedra, like I said, I'm not a Phaedra fan, and I think that what Phaedra did is absolutely horrible as it relates to Candy in that room. I get that, but I'm talking about this situation right here. Those are two different things. If you feel that way about it, then don't accept her help. Say, no, I got it. I have attorneys. I'm gonna keep paying my attorneys over here. We're good. Thank you so much. If you really feel that way, stand in that. That's how I feel about it. But don't accept my help for something, but then you feel some kind of way about me, and don't accept my help for free. Now, again, if Kelly had paid Phaedra full market price for her services, I wouldn't even be saying that. I'd be like, well, hell, she paid you, so she can talk shit if she wants to. She paid you what you asked for, but you didn't do that. You didn't pay her what she would charge somebody on the street. You pay her a big ass discounted price. So that's all I'm saying. I hear what y'all are saying. Again, I am not a Phaedra fan by any stretch of the imagination. But my thing is, if you don't fuck with me, then don't fuck with me. That's how I feel about it. Anyway. Hey, what's up, SCK? SCK said, now what? We don't agree a lot, but she agree with me. I agree. She seems to have an issue with Pinky. Yeah, again, it is what it is. I think it's because Pinky said Phaedra eats dead people. Now that was kind of fucked up that Phaedra said that Pinky said that. That was kind of bad. And again, I said last week, I felt like Pinky should have apologized for that. Again, two things can be true. You can have an issue with Phaedra about one thing, but you still should apologize about this over here. But that's just me, child. I caught the Phaedra Pinky shade too. I'm wondering why production didn't show the footage of Kelly and Pinky chatting about business and stuff. Maybe they didn't do it on camera. Some of these women are really building friendships off camera, and I think that's going to make it hard for next season as well, because there'll be a lot of stuff that we're not going to get on camera. But I think that probably was an off-camera conversation. I think Phaedra brought up Pinky because Kelly is obviously close to playing to this side of the couch game with someone who could actually help her, but discounting who she did for instead. Oh wow. Okay, Cameron. Cameron said, "No, I'm gonna take your help and still say f you." Okay. All right. But I think they might have had other conversations. Yeah, you know what? When they were at Slutty Vegan, they did talk. You're right. They did. You're right. You're right. You're right. That and that did happen on camera. So yeah, Phaedra was just yeah. That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true, Chuck. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, they did have a conversation at Slutty Vegan, and it was on camera. So yeah. Um. Next, I had Then they brought up the whole K Michelle of it all again. Y'all, I'm just going by my notes. I don't have a lot of notes, so I'm sorry. But the whole K Michelle of it all, and um when they talked about the things that when Shamia and Portia were talking about the this side of the couch, and you chose the wrong team situation with K Michelle, and Shamia brought up the conversation about the things they were saying about K Michelle behind her back. I feel like that conversation was edited because it was hard to follow. Maybe it was me. Maybe my attention span just wasn't there. But it was hard for me. You just left Scotty's house. That's okay, boo. It was hard for me to follow it. So I feel like that conversation was sliced up a little bit. But from what I gather, basically Portia was saying when Shamia was like, well, you chose the wrong, like you chose the wrong team or something like that. And Portia was like, all I was saying was once me and K Michelle had our little falling out, it was hard for us to really get back on track. And then Shamia made a comment about something about things being said behind your back or whatever. And Portia was like, and she was like, you were talking about the girl was on Ambien and like that. And Portia was like, that was never said. And then of course production rolled that beautiful bean footage. And Phaedra did say that the girl was on Ambien and wasn't gonna remember. And Portia was at the table when it was said. Listen, before the Portia people start yelling at me, I'm not doing it with y'all tonight. I love y'all, but I ain't doing it with y'all tonight. I'm only bringing that up because it came up on the show. I ain't arguing with y'all tonight about Portia and her lying ass. I ain't. Because Portia is real convenient how Portia don't never remember shit that was said. She'll never remember full conversations that was said. All Shamia said was that y'all was talking about K Michelle behind her back. And y'all were. Both of y'all, listen, this all I'm gonna say about this. Both of y'all, when I say y'all, both of them built alliances. Portia had her crew, Shamia had her crew. Now, who the leader of the crew was, I don't know. Who built the crew, I don't know. Who curated the crew, I don't know. But both of them had crews. It was a clear divide. It was the left side of the couch and the right side of the couch. Shamia got Portia with the alliance crap. I think both of them. Now, SCK says that Shamia has proven both seasons to start an alliance. I don't see where it was proven. I see where Portia said it, but again, it depends on if you believe Portia or not. I think Portia be lying. Now, I think both of them built alliances, is what I believe. I believe both of them did it. But what I'm not gonna do, and this is me, I can't speak for y'all. What I'm not getting ready to do is sit here and make a mountain out of it when all of them do it. Every single Housewives franchise builds alliances. They all do it. Every season, there are alliances. Sometimes it's the newbies versus the old. Sometimes it's this. They all do it. So I'm not getting ready to sit here and point out Portia for doing it, and I'm not going to highlight Shamia for doing it. All I'm gonna say is that both of them did it, and it was clear, or at this reunion, that there were alliances. It was very clear to me. Very clear to me. Now, it may not be to y'all, and that's fine. I told y'all I ain't arguing with y'all tonight. I love y'all. I ain't arguing with y'all tonight. Next in my notes, Shamia did reveal that she lost the baby. Now, I want to say this about maybe a week or so ago in one of my lives on my tribe meeting on my other channel. A friend of mine said that in the chat, and the chat got really upset because the information wasn't public. And the person that said it in the chat, I knew was not a troll. I knew that he didn't say it to be hateful. He didn't say it to be mean. And I knew he was not a troll. And I also know that if he said it, he knew it to be true. I did the best I could to basically let y'all know that in that moment. He sent me a message telling me more specific information. And that's why, if y'all were there that day, that's why I just moved on. I understood y'all feeling some kind of way about that, because that is a very sensitive thing to talk about, for a woman to speak on it. And I do not think he meant any harm in it. Sometimes we say things because we have inside information, or we have information and we say things. Um, I do not think that when he said it, he realized it wasn't public information. And as soon as the whole chat was like, what? I think he realized, oh shit, she hasn't made an announcement yet. I knew based on the information that he told me, I knew it was true. And again, this is somebody that I'm friends with, in real life friends with. So I knew he wouldn't lie. I knew he wouldn't make it up. And I knew he wouldn't say something that was not true, that he didn't know to be a fact. I do not think he meant any harm by it, and I understand y'all's reaction. I do. Especially women. I definitely understand y'all's reaction, but I do not, there he's not that person, and he didn't mean any harm by it. But I did know it to be true. I knew that it was true. Um and I'm sorry, I'm definitely sorry for Shamia, and for her husband, and for that process. But I just wanted to say that, since it was said tonight, and she did publicly acknowledge that, I just wanted to say that. And again, everybody's feelings about it are valid. Like, I'm not saying that y'all don't have a right to feel the way y'all feel about it. But I know he felt bad, and I know it wasn't said with malice. So, I just wanted to acknowledge that. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm sorry for Shamia, and for that. Listen, I still feel how I feel about it. Um, I still feel like she's being pressured to have a boy. She keeps saying that he's not pressuring her, that she's putting the pressure on herself. I don't know. I still feel like there's pressure being put on her to have a boy. I also think that adoption is probably not what Gerald wants. I guess it will come down to what he wants more, whether he wants a boy or he wants to do it a different way. Um, the one thing I want people, and when I say people, I guess I mean men, um, to understand is television sells us this idea of pregnancy, and that is so easy. A man and a woman, they have sex, the egg gets fertilized, and 9 months later, a baby pops out, and it's just not that easy. And honestly, growing up, we were all sold that growing up. It wasn't until I had friends trying to have children. I had friends, who were trying to get pregnant, and I have friends who've gone through IVF. I have friends who've had miscarriages. I have friends who've adopted, like all of the above. I have friends who've been whatever that is. I've had friends who have gone through it. And so it's real to see women who are dealt with these things in real time, but it's also really hard, because I think the world just thinks it's just easy, and it's just not. It's not. I mean, obviously for some people it is. Some women have 4 or 5 healthy kids, and you're like, damn. But honestly, I find that it's just harder and harder. But yeah, so I definitely want to. I felt bad for Shamia. I'm definitely in that moment. Um, we had the conversation with Angela and her daughter, and all of that. Can I say something? I don't care. Um, she said her and her daughter in a good place. She said her daughter came out to her when she was 12 years old, so it was never about accepting her daughter or knowing her daughter. She said that her daughter's wife's family doesn't accept her daughter, and that's where some of the issues lie in that situation. But what I found to be funny What I found to be funny, when Andy asked Angela about Lord, I can't get it out. When Andy asked Angela what the issue was with the marriage, it wasn't about her daughter being gay and marrying a woman. I think Angela would have been upset with her daughter getting married, period. Because she said because she's too young. And if did y'all hear what Angela said? I have plans for her. I sent her to the best schools. I gave her these opportunities. I got plans for her. I don't think it was about her daughter being gay at all. I think it was about her daughter not following Angela's program. It was about her daughter not following what Angela wanted to happen. That's what I heard. I don't know. Did y'all hear what that? Because that's what I heard. That's what I heard. When she said, she's too young. She said, I had her when I was 18 years old. I did this. I sent her to the best schools. I gave her these opportunities. We got plans. So I honestly don't think it, and I think that's why her daughter didn't say anything, because maybe Angela, I don't know what her daughter does. I mean, I'm not being funny. I don't know if she's in school. I don't know what her career goals are. Like, I don't know any of those things. But whatever it is, the daughter, I think, feels like that she know that Angela had plans. You know, and she knew that this was going to be a problem. That's my mind. That's what I hear in my mind. I can absolutely see that from a parent's perspective. She has bigger dreams for her daughter, and she feels like being a wife will slow her down or hinder her. Yeah. And I'm not even saying Angela's wrong for feeling that way. Because, I mean, I feel like my mom, listen, I grew up in a house where college was not college was a where, not a if. Never, and I never thought about it until, of course, I got older. My parents always spoke of college as if it was going to happen. College was never well, maybe you'll go to college. No, college was a where are you going to college? And that was always the conversation. So I can imagine if I came home at 18 talking about I was ready to get married, I'm sure my parents would have an issue with it. And then if I went and eloped and didn't tell them, oh, I'm sure it would be issues. And then you add in the caveat of, and I married a woman. Oh, I'm sure all of that. So I honestly don't think that Angela is homophobic. I do think that was a factor of that her daughter married a woman. I think was part of it, but I think all of it was part of it. You know what I'm saying? I think, and the fact that her daughter's wife's family doesn't accept the daughter, that's a problem. And if I would have a problem with that if that were my child, especially since Angela said that her daughter's wife has lived with them, but the daughter can't even be in the house when her family come to visit. Always priceless says, I got engaged my freshman year at ODU and my parents flipped out. Exactly. And her daughter 25. I don't know how old her daughter is now, but when she got married, she was younger. Because she's been married for like 2 years now. I mean, I said 18 as an example, Chuck. I'm not saying her daughter was 18 when it happened. I was just using that as an example for me. So that conversation was had. But she said that her and her daughter are in a really good place right now. So, you know, I'm happy to hear that. Great. Glad to hear it. Parents often overinvest in their kids' future, making their kids' lives about themselves instead of letting them find their way. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. Locks, no dandruff. Yep. That's a cute name. I like it. Now I brought home a pig and my mama said no. Anyway, moving right along. Then we got into this segment of Shamia versus everyone. This is the part I honestly don't. I told y'all 3 episodes ago, we're at a point with this Shamia situation where you're either you like Shamia or you don't. Either you're team Shamia or you're team Portia, whatever. And I think we're at a point where I agree with Shamia when she says, damned if I do and damned if I don't. Yes. Is Shamia perfect? Absolutely not. Shamia's with the shits like everybody else is with the shits, okay? I don't think Shamia does anything more or less than the rest of the women do more or less. People say, well, Shamia like to play victim. Hell, K. Michelle played victim all season. K. Michelle played victim all fucking season. Drew plays victim whenever she feel like playing victim. So I I don't see where Shamia is doing anything worse. Now, again, I'm not saying Shamia is perfect or right. Please understand that. Shamia got her shit with her. Let's be clear. But I don't understand the vitriol at Shamia, like Shamia is doing something that the rest of these women ain't doing. I just don't. I don't understand it. But anyway, moving right along. But we talked about, so I just wrote in my notes Shamia versus everybody. We talked about Shamia and Cynthia. I'm gonna use this as an example. The whole room situation with Shamia, and the house and the room being dirty, right? This is a perfect example. How many Housewives shows, episodes, group trips have we looked at, and them women have complained about their room the entire time that they were at whatever location? We've seen Giselle and Robin do it on the Real Housewives of Potomac when they had the room in Miami that you could hear the toilet flush. When they had the room, when they were and they had the room up in the attic and they left and went and got hotel rooms. We've seen them do it on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, New Jersey. Like, we have seen them do it. So I am not understanding why Shamia and Kelly, and we talked about it, y'all. We did talk about it. But for them to make it seem like Kelly and Shamia did something that was so ridiculous, like their room was dirty. And then for Cynthia to be like, well, I find it interesting that y'all couldn't come to dinner because y'all room was dirty. Yeah, because they couldn't take a shower. Because they couldn't change their clothes. Because they couldn't get freshened up like the rest of y'all got freshened up. And Cynthia gonna say, well, I did say y'all could come to my room. She was like, girl, that was after dinner. And Cynthia gonna be like, but I did offer. Girl, you offered after they filmed the scene. And and I'm gonna be like Shamia said, she said, girl, she said, but y'all did film. I found it interesting that y'all could film by the pool. Shamia was like, well, first of all, we are still filming a television show. So, let's not act like production didn't ask us to do that. Second of all, we were still in our clothes from the airport. We still hadn't changed. We still hadn't taken a shower. We were just sitting by the pool filming a scene. So, even with Cynthia making it seem like, well, y'all still film, girl, don't act like it's the same, because it's not. It wasn't the same. Child, y'all know, listen, Katrina, they went over there to be nosy. That's what that was. And all of us would have done the same damn thing. If we was sitting by the pool and we heard a bunch of people arguing over there, we'd have ran our asses over there too to be nosy and see what was happening. They didn't go over there to film. They went over there to be nosy. The only person that went over there to film after saying they didn't want to film was K. Michelle. Now, again, I'm not saying that Shamia is right and everybody else was wrong. What I'm saying is, why are we acting like what Shamia and Kelly did about them rooms was any worse than what the rest of these motherfuckers do about these rooms? We have literally had housewives leave and go get hotel rooms because they were like, I'm not staying here. We have literally seen them do that. So I'm like, it just frustrates me because I feel like the whole thing with Shamia and Drew, Shamia was like, look, I thought we were good at the end of last season. Let me rewind, because on that one I was kind of with Drew. You don't apologize and then take the apology back. I was actually kind of with Drew on that one. Let me take that one back. Erase Drew. Erase Drew. Because Shamir, you can't apologize and then say, but it could have been worse. Girl, just apologize and be done. Just say, I'm sorry. I apologize. Now that I'm sorry. Let me erase that. Erase the Drew thing. The Angela piece of it. Honestly, I really don't feel like Angela has any beef with Shamia. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't understand why Angela had such a hard on for Shamia all season long. I don't. And there's nothing Angela said explained it. Even with Angela talking about Shamia took a picture with Junebug down to her house. Like Shamia said, this is the first I'm hearing of it. You ain't said, like, when did we talk about this? Last year, Junebug was in cahoots with Phaedra. When did you find it? When did you find out something different? When did you find something different? I didn't see you talking about that. Now all of a sudden you got an issue with because Shamia took a picture with Junebug. It was something else that happened with Angela and Shamia. Damn it. I just lost it. I just had it. Angela and Shamia. Damn it. I just had it. Damn, it was something with Angela and Shamia. It's gone. I'm sorry, it's gone. But it was something with Angela and Shamia, as it relates to damn. Oh, I hate it. I just had it. I just had it and it's gone. But it was something with Angela and Shamia. The cease and desist. The cease and desist was stupid. Shamia, I didn't think that was a good idea. I didn't think it was a good idea for you to do the cease and desist because again, the cease and desist, a cease and desist means stop. Like I understand what you were saying. You were like, well, thank you for the super chat, baby. Shamia apologized at Pinky's school drive. They hugged. Then Drew made that snarky comment about Shamia's mom. Okay, yeah, got it, got it. Y'all already know how I feel about Drew, but the minute I say something about Drew, then all the Drew stands gonna come from the damn ceiling, child. Drew is messy. Drew is sneaky. Drew be saying stupid shit, and then, but because of the way Drew says stuff, everybody give her a pass because she says it like this, and she's always so calm, and she uses that sing-songy voice. So then people give her a pass when Drew really be messy as fuck and be and the shit she be saying be on some messy shit. But people give her a pass. But anyway, moving right along, child. Moving right along. Yeah, the cease and desist was stupid. I didn't think it was a good look, Shamia. I don't feel like you should have done it, especially since you know the reunion is to talk about these things. Let her say her piece, ask her at the reunion, because then what you did was you gave her an out. Because what did she do? Every time you tried to ask her about it, she said, well, you told me not to speak about it. You gave me a cease and desist. I can't say nothing. that was that wasn't a well played. That wasn't well thought out. That wasn't well thought out. No, Raven, you know how them Drew people be coming at us in the whether you like it or not panel in that chat. Baby, them Drew stands be coming at us, honey. The Drew stands be coming at us. But it wasn't the cease and desist. It was something else. Damn it, what was it? It was something else as far as Angela and Shamia are concerned and their whole argument. It wasn't George. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Y'all get the point that I just didn't understand why Angela seemed to have such a hard on for Shamia. I just don't. I did not get it. Shamia and Phaedra. Shamia and Cynthia. It did seem like Cynthia was going out of her way to defend Portia. It did seem like Cynthia was going out of her way to be Team Portia. I know y'all want to act like it ain't alliances on both sides, but there clearly are, and Cynthia definitely chose a side, in my opinion. So, all right. The horse. I don't care about the horse. I don't believe you, Drew. I don't believe nothing about it, Drew, because on the show you made it seem like that man bought you a horse, and we know good and damn well that man didn't buy you no damn horse. I don't believe you. I just don't. I don't believe you. And um, yeah, I don't believe you. I don't. But moving right along. It's not. I don't even care. I think it was a. I think it was a gimmick that fell flat. Um, I think they were trying to ice Shamia out. Absolutely, they were. That's my opinion, and I've been telling y'all that for weeks. But y'all don't. When I say y'all, again, I'm talking to the people that I'm talking to. If it ain't you, I ain't talking to you. But y'all act like y'all don't see it. The people act like they don't see. They absolutely were trying to ice Shamia out. They absolutely were trying to make Shamia have such a horrible season. And don't get me wrong, Shamia, we about to get to the whole Scotland situation in a second. That was really the last major thing. But you think Shamia set it up? Why would Shamia set it up? Why would Shamia set it up? I don't understand that. Okay, I don't see where you get that one from. I don't know how that even benefits Shamia to set that up. Like that don't even make sense to me. Um to make Drew look a certain way. But they know who sent it. Like they're acknowledging that the guy sent it. Like Drew is saying he sent the horse. Drew's just saying she didn't know anything about it. So Drew's acknowledging she knows who sent the horse, and it wasn't Shamia. Yeah, I don't. That don't make sense to me. But okay, I mean that's your opinion. I can't tell you that your opinion is wrong because though none of us know shit. Um. All right. I guess last but not least, we got to get to the Portia Shamia of it all. I found it interesting. Hold on. What's this say? I wrote something in my notes. I don't even know what it means. I really think that I really think Andy thought that this was gonna be the end all be all. That this whole Shamia Portia conversation was gonna be his conclusion, his big fireworks finale, and it fell flat because Portia refused to participate. Um, First of all, when Andy brought it up, Portia was like, Andy was like, "Why are you giving me that stare? Why are you giving me that death stare?" And Portia gonna say to Andy, "Because I don't understand why we're discussing something that happened last season." And Andy was like, "Because it carried over into this season, and it was a big part of what happened this season, and we gonna talk about it." And then when Andy kept going, because Portia made it clear that she did not want to have this conversation, Portia refused to participate. Portia was like, "I ain't talking about my mama. I ain't stop talking about my daughter. 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 Stop talking about my daughter." And therefore, the conversation really didn't go anywhere because there was no um because there was no conversation there. So let me say this. I have two sides to this thought, right? And I already know that one side. I know but let me get my thought out. So I have two sides to this thought. The first side to this thought I have is you are on a reality television show where you agree to talk about your reality. Nobody was saying anything disparaging against your daughter. What's up, Busy Boo? Nobody was saying anything disparaging against your daughter. They were speaking on a conversation that was had where Shamia was trying to clear up what was said versus what Cynthia ran back and told your ass, or the way she ran back and told your ass. And she was just trying to clear that up. And for Portia to not participate in that conversation, I think it's fucked up. Because that's what you're here for. Nobody said Pilar was ugly. Nobody said Pilar, like nobody was saying anything nasty or disparaging against your child. So for you to sit here and be like, well, don't speak on my child. I'm not talking about my child. Stop talking about my child. You don't get to pick and choose, because what we're not gonna do is have a whole what's up the jail slayer? What we're not gonna do is have a whole photo shoot with your daughter and a whole scene with your daughter in one episode, and then over on this side, don't talk about my daughter, don't talk about my daughter. You put your daughter on the show. Your daughter's on the show, and again, nobody was saying anything nasty. We were clearing up a conversation. So I thought that was fucked up, that conversation could not be had. I just think that was fucked up. I'm going to kind of say the same thing. Oh, happy birthday, Jail Slayer. Happy birthday, boo. Y'all say happy birthday in the chat. The flip side of that, I'm going to say the same thing about the mamas. And I know some of y'all ain't going to agree with that too. But I'm going to say the same thing about the mamas. They grown-ass women. Both of those mamas have been on this show. They have filmed on this show. They have said things on this show. And the conversation happened. We are at the reunion. The purpose of the reunion is to address what happened in the season. Now, again, I don't think that the mother's past should have been brought up, whether it was Shamia or Portia. I don't think it should have been brought up, but it was. And we are on a reality show. And that is why we are here. And for Portia to sit here and act like she's so above talking about people's mamas, when you tried to fight Dennis' mama, you talked about Dennis' mama. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like you wasn't rolling around on the ground down to wherever the hell they were when they filmed your reality show, and you tried to fight Dennis's mama on camera. See, we can't have it both ways, because now, Portia, you decide you don't want to participate because now it's your mama. I didn't like it. And again, I'm not saying that Shamia was right for bringing up the situation with the mamas. I'm not saying she was right for that. But if we are at the reunion, you know what it is. You know what it is at the reunion. You know what the conversation. So I don't know. And then when, Portia gonna say, well, I ain't had no problem filming with Shamia this season. I know that every time she looked at me, I saw the longing in her eyes. I knew she wanted to be my friend. Girl. Listen, Give Me Shelter. I know Portia was the first one to bring up the mamas, but they want to act like, people want to act like they don't remember that. They want to act like Shamia did it first, and Shamia wasn't the one that did it first. Portia did it first, but the people want to act like it was Shamia. Okay. Whatever. And again, I understand people who say, oh, well, there are boundaries and there this and there that. But my thing is, but you on a reality show and you already know what it is. Like, there are no, you on a reality show. The whole purpose is to share your reality. The whole purpose is, if it happened on camera, we can talk about it. If it happened on camera, we can talk about it. And it happened on camera. And it was a big part of what happened on camera. What's up, y'all? And that's how I feel about it. And again, it doesn't matter because again, Portia is still the HBIC on this show. It ain't gonna change nothing. Ain't gonna address to nothing. You know, it is what it is. But that's just how I felt about it. That was pretty much the end of the reunion. As far as I mean, that was the end of my notes, child. They started. Then they kind of went around the table, the couch or whatever. And what did you learn? And whatever, that little bullshit. Then they had the guy come out with the bagpipes. That was pretty much it. I think she used her daughter in that moment to try to. Yeah, she absolutely did. I'm not talking about my daughter. I'm not talking about my mother. Like, that was her way of not having the conversation, and she got away with it. I mean, I guess at a certain moment you can't make somebody talk. So when I say got away with it, I mean you can't make somebody have a conversation if they don't want to have a conversation. But yeah, that's exactly what it was. So that was pretty much it, though, you guys. Tomorrow night, the Whether You Like It or Not panel, we will be on. Are we gonna be on Busy's channel? Busy, are we on your channel or Sakina? I think we're on Sakina's channel. I think we're on Sakina's channel tomorrow night. Well, the Whether You Like It or Not panel is the season finale. Y'all better come through and get it because y'all probably won't see us until Potomac, and y'all know Potomac probably ain't gonna come back till late, like the beginning of the year. So we gonna probably be off for the next 4 months. So we're gonna be off for like the next 4 months. So we'll see y'all. Now I do think it's Casino. Okay. I do think that there's gonna be a Whether You Like It or Not panel, Love and Marriage Huntsville edition, but I couldn't tell you who's gonna be on that panel or anything like that. Scotty, for those of you that the Love and Marriage Huntsville people, Scotty will probably give you that information. I know he's reaching out to some people and trying to get a panel together to do Love and Marriage Huntsville. So there may be a Whether You Like It or Not Huntsville panel. If you got for the Huntsville people. But as far as the Real Housewives, we won't be back until Potomac. We may try to do a Salt Lake City one. We've tried to do Salt Lake City in the past, and I don't know, but we may try to do a Salt Lake City one. But as of right now, that's all we got. They're gonna bring Real Housewives of Potomac back when Whitney goes to trial. Well, definitely, because Whitney trial starts in January, and that's usually when Potomac starts. Potomac usually starts like at the beginning of the year, because Potomac goes into spring, so they usually start at the top of the year. It'll be interesting if they're going to pick up the cameras. It's going to be interesting if they're going to pick up the cameras for Potomac. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yes, Ravine. Thank you, boo. We are on our road to 20K. If you are not subscribed to my main channel, ReallyBTV, please subscribe. It's over 250 of y'all in here right now. We are trying. I need 475 subscribers to get me to 20,000 subscribers. So if you are not subscribed to ReallyBTV, please go over there and give me a subscription, please, and thank you. And with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Mwah. Good night. Happy first day of school. If tomorrow's the first day of school, it's the first day of school for me. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.